What's up, guys and gals? Welcome back to the Nerdcastle for the next episode of Reign of Kings. My name is Splattercat, and I'm happy to have you here today. What we're going to do right now is we're going to try and figure out how to make these fire barrels. We're going to try and do a night raid on those guys down in the valley and maybe blow them up or something. I haven't seen, so there's got to be siege maybe? Ah, there's the fire barrel. So it takes a fuse. Where do we get the fuse from? Let me look at the crafting stations real fast. Is there a siege works? So maybe we make it an upgraded Fletcher. That's the only other thing that I could think about is where would you make that except at a Fletcher or at an... Yeah, let's go ahead and give that a go. I know I don't want this to be like another Civic episode where we sit around just like working on random stuff. However, I do want it to be an episode where we accomplish something interesting. And so I don't want to go back down to the valley unless I have the actual capability to like blow people up and cause all kinds of problems for my neighbors. So let's grab the fletching table, which is in here somewhere. Fletching table? Oh, the fletching table's up top. Never mind, we don't need that right now. So we needed the anvil is the other one that we needed. What did I end up doing with my smelter and my anvil? Where did that go? Anvil? No anvil. What the hell did I do with my anvil? There it is. As I say, this is a little concerning because the anvil actually took not like a considerable amount of resources, but it took enough to where I would prefer not to misplace it and lose it right now. All the other workbenches I could lose, just and I wouldn't worry about it too much. But the anvil is the one that I would just really like to keep around. And so we've got this little crafting table area up and in here. We may have to expand it out slightly. Just a little bit. Not much. Like maybe put a ledge in right there, like a little overhang. But I need extra building space, and unless I have it, I don't think I could put down, my well can go up top. That's funny. I'll put the well down in the courtyard because it'll look better down there. And I always prefer that it look well. There it is. You knew I was going to make a joke about the well. I suppose we could put the well house in here. Although it does take up a lot of space. I'll probably just center it off over here somewhere. Where you want to be, Will? Where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself right now? Right there. I don't know if it would be... It seems like a real way for the prisoner to add contaminants to our water. To put it right below the cage. Might not be a good plan. Might not be a good plan. Let's go over here. I proposed an alliance with Dragast, by the way, over Twitter. And so he's going to have to respond to that. And we'll figure out whether or not we're going to be able to roll this server. Or maybe once we get a private server set up, or once I get a private server set up, he can go on there and we can actually have some fun shenanigans. He's better at like editing and doing fun stuff than I am. I'm like a boring old man and I don't edit much at all. So do you make a fuse here, I wonder? Consumables? No, it's not in there. And we are on... So you can make projectiles. We've got weapons. Where do you make... So why is nothing opening up right now? Okay, so there's the weapon tab. Melee weapons, yes, we know about that. I'm going to have to go through each of these, I think, real quick to see where we get the fuses from. The fuses may not even be available right now for, like, random creation. It sort of depends. We've got equipment right there. We've got dungeons, consumables. It was not under... Maybe I'm just missing it in a tab... Or maybe you do it over here. Like a fuse seems like the sort of thing that would require you to like create some sort of combustion with it. Like it would come from some combustible object. So maybe you get it from over here. There's equipment on that side. Furniture. Nope, that's not the one that we're looking for. We've got resources. A steel compound. Oh, that's how you make it. So it takes oil, charcoal, and iron to make steel. So we learned that today. Apparently there is no steel node or whatever. I was hoping that would not be the case because steel is just highly refined iron. That's all that it is. I don't see it anywhere, unfortunately. I may go after... Let's get some steel brewing. How about that? Let's get some steel brewing because we're going to need that for later. I'd like to get... If we get it in the next episode, we can get up into some full steel plate mail. I'd be really happy. Did that require ore or bars? I wasn't really paying attention when I went through, but... We need charcoal. And then we needed some oil as well. And we'll want to keep an eye on this because I could really screw this up and waste a whole bunch of our resources on it. But I'd rather refine it now and worry about it later. I'll have to figure out where the fuse comes from. I'm going to have to sit down like in between episodes and just go in between every single crafting menu and just figure out where the hell you get a fuse from because I don't see it anywhere. And I've upgraded everything just about as far as it'll go. So, we'll figure it out later is the point that I'm getting at right now. So where was... There it was, the steel compound. Oh, you just need... It's not iron bars, you need iron. Like the actual raw iron. Okay, so maybe I shouldn't... Ah, it's too late. Damn it. Okay, so we're going to have to go on an iron quest. in order to make this work. I'll take all the wood out of here, though, because I don't think I want this. Let me douse it as well. You can turn off all your lights by holding down the E button if you want to do that. The lights are going out anyway, so what I'll do is I'll head to the field over there. We'll try and get some stuff locked in. I don't even know. It's probably going to take a lot more than... How much did it take? Oh, it only takes 1 iron? Oh, that takes like nothing. Well, never mind then. Make me a whole bunch of steel. That sounds great. Make me as much as you want to make. Oh, and it goes quickly, too. Nice. So we have steel compounds now. And then from the steel compounds, I assume maybe we have to throw that back in the ingot burner. Throw it back in the smelter or something. That's how we get our product out so that we can finally make ourselves some steel armor. That'll be cool. I'd like to do that by the next episode. I think that's probably the way that I'd like to finish on this server, is by making the full steel plate mail. It only takes a couple of ingots, too. So we should be able to do the upgrades without too much trouble, I hope. So we're going to have to go to the big field out there. And once we go to the big field, I think that's going to be our best chance at getting a tad more resources. So if I do this, did I not take that out of the processing thing? Where did it go? Processing! There it is. I forgot to take it out. Never forget to take it out. It is the simplest part of the process. And so if I throw that in there, that actually takes 2 minutes, and we get 2 steels out. So yeah, that's going to take a long time, but we'll figure it out later. Have I upgraded you fully? You have been upgraded fully. Have you been upgraded fully? You have been upgraded fully. You are upgraded fully. You can tell at the bottom left-hand corner. I apologize for the darkness right now. It's not my intent to blind all of you, but still. I'm trying to figure out where this fuse is at. I guess I'll have to look it up. How much wood do those have left in them? Oh, good. Those are burning for a while. Awesome. That's everything I could have hoped for. So we got that right there. We'll restack some of this stuff, and I'll be right back. Once we get out to the field, we'll harvest out some iron, and we'll be good to go. Alright, everybody. I figured I'd mention it just in case people were wondering. A lot of people have been asking where the iron is at when they get into the game. If you're looking at the front of the statue right here, the iron is down and in here. Let me get this out. You see the tip of my pickaxe on the front? It's over there. And then it's all up this hill that's running up to the statue. And so if you just start over here and then weave your way along the sides of the road, you see that road right there? If you check along the sides of it all the way up the hill, you'll find yourself a whole bunch of iron. In fact, I'm about to show you some iron right now. Now, I think on most servers, it's only going to be a matter of time before whoever is king, especially if he's got cronies. What I would do anyways, if I was playing as king, is I would build walls around the iron that you could only get to if you had the gate key. The reason being is that it keeps all of the random peasants from getting their hands on weapons, and it makes them easier to pacify. That's what I'd be attempting to survive by doing anyways. And if you're looking for iron, it looks like this right... Oh, is that a door that somebody just built out here in the middle of nowhere? It is. It's locked. Somebody locked the door. How nice of them. Okay, well, there's a door out in the middle of nowhere. But anyways, this is what iron looks like right here. If the sun was up a little bit higher, you'd be able to see it better. But this is exactly what we left, and this is really what we need in order to get ourselves a ton more steel brewing. And once we get enough steel, we'll be able to make that plate mail. We'll come back in the next episode. I may also try and make some siege equipment. Maybe like a ballista or something that we can attack their base with over there, because at this point, they're just unwitting actors in my play. It's basically the way that it's going to go down, is I'm going to use them as my guinea pig. I've never had anybody to fire any of our siege weapons at, and so I'm going to build a couple in between episodes maybe, and we'll see if we can come back and knock over their shit and maybe steal some of their stuff, or at least deal some damage to their base. I don't want to be too big of an asshole, but this is a PvP game. That is what we're supposed to be doing, right? Acting like assholes. So let's go act like assholes. Hooray! All over everything. I don't know what it takes to make a trebuchet or whatever, but I'd like to give it a go. It's probably expensive. I don't think that they would give you access to that technology very cheaply. That random door just out there in the middle of nowhere. It's got some kind of like weird Narnia feeling to it. Every time I see that thing, I'm just like, is that a door? I don't know why, but I feel really uneasy about the fact that there's a door just like sitting there. Let's eat some berries while we walk, because everybody loves berries. Some people love Larrys. A very few people love carries, but every now and again, you find all those people that love berries. He wants to know where he can find steel so that he can use it against us. We could tell him right now. We can make it at the... There we go. You can make it at the anvil. That's all. I don't like holding back other players. Like, if I have information, typically I just give it away, because that's just the sort of generous, loving human being that I am. I don't like to see people struggle. Don't like to see people struggle and be confused about stuff. So if I can help out with simple questions, I typically do. Even though I tend to be, well, it depends. In DayZ, I actually really, in survival, like, type crafting games or whatever, like in DayZ, for example, I tend to just be a lurker in DayZ. Like, I rarely fight with anybody. In fact, I think most of the fun of that game is me just being stealthy and sneaking around, and there's something awesome about being like 25 feet from somebody and they have no idea that you're there, and then like their life is in your hands, but you just like can walk away whenever you want because that's the sort of benevolent death god that you are. In other games, though, like in Rust, for example, I'm really, really vicious, so I don't know. It depends on the game, I guess. In Rust, I get all upside people's heads in Rust. I'll have to decide what I want to do in this game, although judging from some of the earlier parts of the game, we have murdered several human beings. So, things to consider. Little bit more iron. There it is. I'm going to try and get all the iron nodes on the way up the hill, because what I'm going to attempt next is I actually want to see if I can become king even though the dude's still logged in. I want to know what the succession is. Like, how do you become king? Like, we came up here before, but there was nobody else in the server, and it seemed as though there's a roadblock that keeps people from claiming the throne if the server is empty, so that you can't just be like king of your own little kingdom and then open it up to everybody else once you've claimed the throne. It seems like they put some sort of roadblock in place. Obviously, it's a very, very minor impasse. In fact, one that a miner could break through with a pickaxe very, very easily. And so it's a minor impasse that I think isn't going to impede most people. They'll just log in with a couple of their friends and become king. However, I'd like it anyways. If I ever set up my private server, my plans for it are, I don't know how to set up forums or anything like that either, but I'd like to make it organized in such a way where you have different factions that you can like sign up for, and you know, as long as you want to play the game, you play the game and you band together. These games are always better with friends, and I think that's one of the big reasons why, if you look at the comments section, a lot of people do not like these sorts of games because they roll alone, and unfortunately these sorts of games are not games you can solo in. Like, you need people to watch your back, and already I've been reaching out to people on this server just in case I don't end up leaving and just being like, hey, you know, this will work out a lot better for all of us if we just like chillax a little bit and we say, you know, those guys over there, bad guys, us guys over here, good guys for right now, and we just leave it like that. It will make our lives easier. Let me see if I can claim this throne up here after I get this last iron node. But yeah, what I would do actually is, if you're trying to control this and you have a couple people working with you, I would build walls around all these spawns with an iron gate so that it can't be picked and you can't get in without expending a stupid amount of materials in order to blow the wall up. And plus, if you wall around the materials that you need to blow the wall up, well, then there you go. You've kind of created like a major problem, unless they have pre-existing explosives. And so you should be able to take care of that. I'm sure server admins will come up with some way to stop that from happening in the future, but it's not a bad plan if you're trying to maintain your kingship, to knock off like the peasants' supply run. Like, they can't have any sort of like supply train or anything else going woo woo all through your backyard. That's what a train sounds like to me. That's my emulation of a train, just woo woo. What is this? You cannot collect this object without security clearance from the owner. What is this, like a modern game now? Like, sir, you don't have security clearance. I'm gonna need you to walk away from that bed that's made out of sticks. Oh, man, it's such a long walk to get up to the castle. I don't even know if you could build up here. If you could build up here, you might be able to do something fairly impressive by walling off this bridge and then putting like a bunch of ballista up on those bluffs right there, so that it forces anything that's going to attack you has to cross the bridge. You can just fire ballistas at them nonstop. The Unk has joined the game. What the hell is an Unk? An Unk sounds like a skunk, but it's missing the more Shadow Knight portion of its name, I guess. I liked Shadow Knights back in the day. That was the class that I played in EverQuest. I really, really, really liked Shadow Knights. But then again, I was in my angsty period, too, so I really liked anything that was associated with, like, death, darkness, decay, and destruction. All those good words that start with D. Nowadays, I play a paladin and just about everything. Although, I don't like games where the paladins are, like, super defensive. Like, the paladin... Hold on, let me rephrase that. I don't like games where paladins are super offensive. There we go, where they're like two-handed wielding like holy light ass kickers or whatever. Like, it doesn't bother me that much if other people want to play it, but I prefer that paladins be like healers and sort of like buff bots. So at least I would hope that they have those talent trees, although maybe I'm sort of like locking things inside of a box, which is not what the What was that? Oh, it was my, oh my god, I heard something off to my left. It was my sweatshirt rubbing on my headphone. I was like, I'm pretty sure I just heard a rather large wolf off to the left-hand side of the road. Nope, not a wolf. My headphone running against my zipper. Fantastic. If there's not normal player interference going on, you've always got to deal with extra interference from, wow, that is a big city over there, and it's unfortunate that we can never get inside of it. It's unfortunate. I mean, when you're inside the city, you take plague damage, so you either got to bring a ton of band-aids with you, and there's nothing in there really to claim anyways. I don't know why you would go into the town. There doesn't seem to be anything worthwhile, like, in wandering there. It's just, it doesn't do anything for you. Let's go up here. I wanted to check out these chests and see what these were good for. We do have lockpicks with us right now, so we may be able to go after these. They're locked. How do we use these lockpicks right here? Let's use these. And we have a lockpick. Oh, it just works like that. If it's empty, I'm going to be really upset. What was it? 6 iron? Really? 6 iron. Maybe it's like a gambling mini game and you got to pick the right one. I don't know. I don't have enough lockpicks to go through all of them, though, so I'm going to save these so that I can keyster them in case I get captured. I'd rather keep 1 lockpick on myself so that I can escape, although 2 would have been better, assuming that they wall off their base. However, even if you escape, it seems really, really unlikely. I was thinking about that. So let's say that you're in a cage like the guy in our base is. Now, if he escapes, he'd be able to jump to the wall and escape maybe because it's so close. And to be honest, I put it right there because A, I was out of space, and then B, oh, it looks like we have a couple more prisoners. Yep, time to die. The kingship is not yours, sir. I am the rightful keeper of the throne. I bet one of these 2 guys is the guy that's supposedly the king. Let's see if we can fit. This is not the most valorous of activities. How much HP does a sleeper have? Damn, son. This dude's got HP right here. This dude's got HP right here. Well, this doesn't appear to be working very well. So is he immune while he's sleeping? That would be really, really odd if you can't kill people while they're sleeping. It just doesn't seem like that would be the case. Like, it just seems like... But these guys are definitely, like, immune to... They're taking damage, I guess, but, like... Well, can I loot them while they're sleeping so that I can become king? I could bring back some ropes and we can just deal with it that way and we can tie them both up, but... I don't know. Let's see if we can steal the crown real fast before it gets too dark. Yeah, one of them has the crown, because it's no longer in the wall right here. Let me... Huh. Yeah, I don't know. Do I have to challenge the throne or something? Like, refuse to be a vassal or something before... It's weird the way that this is working out right now. You must be king to renounce the throne. These guys seem to be immune to damage while sleeping. Maybe you have to execute them publicly. Alright, well at least we have a goal right now. We have something to shoot for now that it's nighttime. I'll be right back. I'm going to go get some ropes. And then we're going to tie both these guys up. And we're going to execute them back at our base. I'm going to build a gallows. And we're going to kill them one by one. And that'll be the way that we take over the throne. Sound good? I'll see you once we get back here. Okay, so before we finish the episode, I just wanted to come back and mention it. This guy is dead right here. Like, we totally killed him. Like, he's dead as shit right now. I think, anyways. I could loot him. He had a bunch of plate mail and stuff on him, but now... Well, there's a container around here somewhere. I think maybe it glitched out into a wall or something. This guy, however... There we go. And so, yeah, there's a bunch of plate gauntlets and maybe some stone arrows. Like, anything else you might really want up in here. I'll take his ammo real fast because I could use it. And so I've chained up the second captive. Hopefully one of these is king. Between the 2 of them, one of them is king. It still let me bind this guy up in irons, but I don't know. I'm going to take this guy back to base, and in the next episode, we're going to have ourselves a hanging. How does that sound, everybody? Let's hang some fools.